into trends and issues in marketing management. And for our first topic, Globalization Imperative. I'm Cherise Delixao, and let's discover together why globalization is important. Objectives for this discussion concentrates on the following.
First, why global marketing is imperative. Second, globalization of markets, convergence and divergence. Third, evolution of global marketing. And fourth, theories of international trade and the multinational enterprise. Let's begin.
Before we proceed, let's have a brief background. Products have been traded across borders throughout recorded civilization, extending back beyond Silk Road that once connected East and West. That's from China to Rome. Fast forward today, the triad regions, North America, Western Europe, and Japan of the world collectively produces 80% of the world's GDP, or gross domestic products. But in projection, BEMS will produce opportunities in global businesses. Later on, we're going to talk about BEMS. First off, we're going to answer why globalization is imperative. There are 6 reasons provided why globalization is highly important. Let's break it down.
1. Saturation of domestic markets. Businesses in industrialized countries realize that they have way too much product produced and not enough demands for the product. Thus, in order to cope up with the soon-to-be crisis, they branch out and seek acceptance from outside country.
Let's take this as an example. Companies such as Lenovo are not seeing smartphone growth in their hometown, which is China. Starting in 2012, Lenovo began selling smartphones outside China to emerging markets such as Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Lenovo is now expected to rank as the world's 3rd largest smartphone vendor behind Samsung and Apple. That's saturation.
Second reason is emerging markets. There are rising markets that are making their way to the top of the market scheme.
There are regions in the world that strengthens the foundation of business. These regions are the triad regions of the world, which includes North America, Western Europe, and Japan. Here, the economy is strong. But the BEMS, which is mentioned earlier, these 10 big emerging markets are Chinese Economic Area, India, Commonwealth of Independent States, which Russia, Central Asia, and Caucasus state belongs, South America, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, Central European countries, Turkey, and ASEAN belongs.
Third reason is unfavorable domestic economy. These are businesses that blooms in foreign country than it does in its own country because of something that occupies or happens.
Best example for unfavorable domestic economy is the US recession. KFC and Pizza Hut, our American franchises, operates 2,497 stores in China. This helps the company shrug off US recession. Fourth, global competition. Globalization paves way for global competition in the business. This will help the company grow as they discover their competitors in the field. Growing in the sense that they improve their products, they know their customers more, and they find ways to communicate to their customers and know what's best for their company. I believe that once a person started a business, he doesn't think about shrinking, losing, or any negative thoughts. It's about growth and productivity. And global competition, it's not always about losing or who will win or lose. It's all about knowing your product more and connecting to your customers.
Fifth reason is global cooperation. Global competition also brings out global cooperation. Companies to companies create a partnership to have a more chances of winning.
Winning in the sense that both company develop a product that can be beneficiary to them at the same time answer to social responsibility. Let's say for example, BMW, a German-based automobile, and Toyota, Japanese-based, are already working together on fuel cell technology and recently shown a prototype vehicle converted BMW with hydrogen engine. Instead of competing to each other to create an environmental friendly automobiles, they combined power, cooperated to each other to make one.
Last reason is internet revolution. The blooming of internet to the world paved way to e-commerce. Business to business, or the B2B e-commerce, is larger, growing faster, and has less unequal geographical distribution globally. Increases in the freedom of the movement of goods, services, capital, technology, and people coupled with rapid technology development.
B2B or business to business companies are supportive enterprise that offers the things other businesses need to operate and grow.
And right now, B2B is the process that is widely used in e-commerce, especially in online shopping.
Internet revolution overtakes business right now, and some of the millennials rather choose internet-based type of business than going out and selling their products. In Philippine setup, we have Shopee, Lazada, Zalora, and other e-commerce that blooms beautifully. E-commerce comes in handy to those smaller firms with international market ambitions. Therefore, even purely domestic companies that have never sold anything abroad cannot be shielded from the international competitive pressure. The point is, once we come across the word global, we should be prepared about the intense competition pressure and market opportunities according to global basis. Answering to the question why globalization is imperative, because first, saturation of domestic products, where supply is more than what is intended for the demand. That's why they go out from the home country to other countries that welcomes their product. Second, emerging markets. Aside from the three regions that strengthens the foundation of business, there are 10 big emerging markets that increases competition. Third, unfavorable domestic economy. Businesses doesn't boom in their country but in foreign countries. Fourth, global competition. 5. Global cooperation that blooms from global competition. And lastly, internet revolution. Second objectives, globalization of markets, convergence and divergence. Globalization of business is the change in a business format from a company associated with a single country or the one that does a business in one country to one that operates in a multiple countries. Let's take it deeper.
Convergence. This is the tendency of group of consumers to become more alike over time. The convergence of consumers' needs in many parts of the world translates into tremendous business opportunities for companies willing to risk venturing abroad.
Convergence happens when consumers develop similar needs from the market. Example, current convergence of consumers are the need to have cell phones. Whatever your lifestyle is, whatever your status is, everyone thinks cell phone is a need. As the urge to the convergence of the consumer's needs arises, businesses will take a risk to sell their products beyond borders. We are all aware about the local brands of cell phones, but we are also interested in other countries' brands of cell phones. As the need arises, it doesn't mean that the only option to choose local. It is the role of globalization to introduce more options to every consumers at their liking.
Divergence. This is the distinction of need. The divergence of consumers' needs and cultural preferences exists at the same time. In this phase, globalization was introduced, which breaks the person from the norms of the country.
Through globalization, not only have we become more receptive to new things, but we also have much wider, more divergent choices of goods and services to choose from that shapes our own individual preference and lifestyle. In the example earlier, cell phone is the convergence of needs of every individual. The divergence there is the distinction of the cell phone that we need. Because again, not everyone is at the same level of lifestyle, but we need cell phone. Under these two concepts, divergence and convergence, the entry of international trade and international business. Let's break it down.
International trade is the exchange of goods and services between two countries. International trade consists of exports and imports. Example, let's say between the United States and the rest of the world. If the United States imports exceed country's exports, then the nation registers a trade deficit. But if United States experiences opposite, then the country could register it as trade surplus.
International trade consists of basic imports and exports. In the Philippine setup, we exported, example, copper products, petroleums, coconuts to neighboring countries. In exchange, neighboring countries also provides educational assistance to the Philippines.
International business is a broader concept and includes international trade and foreign production. This can be done in three ways. First, the movement of goods from country to another. Second, the formation of operation of sales, manufacturing, research and development, and distribution facilities in foreign markets. And third, contractual agreement that allows foreign firms to use products, services, and processes from other nations. Let's break it down.
International business encompasses all commercial activities that takes place to promote the transfer of goods, services, resources, people, ideas, and technologies across national boundaries. First, the movement of goods from country to another. They can export their product from United States, which is recorded as US export. Second, US can invest in their foreign products on their own and manufacture those products abroad for sale. This transaction does not show up as US product. Third, US can contract out manufacturing in whole or part to a company in a foreign country, either by way of licensing or joint venture agreement. If you're struggling, which is bigger, international business or international trade? In my stand, international business is bigger than international trade. Why? Because international trade is normal trading. You can get from us, we can get from you. International business is putting up export products to a country, adding up tariffs, taxes, and other laws implemented, but bigger gain for you.
Now, who manages the international trade? It's the MNCs, or the multinational corporations. Multinational corporations has facilities and other assets in at least one country other than its home country. This phenomenon is called intra-firm trade.
Multinational companies generally has offices or factories in different countries and a centralized headquarter office where they coordinate global management. So, for globalization of markets, convergence or divergence, we see globalization of business as businesses that does not just operate in one country but in multiple countries. Convergence happen when consumers develop similar needs for the market. We have cited cell phone as an example. And the divergence there is the distinction of need of the consumers. In the convergence and divergence concept, the entry of international trade and international business comes up. When we say international trade, it is the exchange of goods and services between two countries, while international business encompasses all commercial activities beyond national borders.